The real story of Reggie Smith and Guy Penrod's exit from the Gaither Vocal Band dispute only. New Seasons, founded by Bill Gaither, a pillar of the Southern gospel tradition, the Gaither Vocal Band has been one of the most adored groups in gospel music for many years. Numerous well-known Christian singers have had their careers established and maintained by the organization, thanks to its changing roster of powerful vocals. Guy Penrod and Reggie Smith are two of the most well-known voices. They each contributed special talent and stirring testimonies to the group. With sporadic tales of conflict or scandal, some fans have conjectured over the years as to why they left. However, there is currently no official statement or public proof of any dispute or rift between Guy Penrod, Reggie Smith, or the Gaither brand. Instead, their changes seem to be based on their own ministry routes, callings, and personal development. Guy Penrod, a voice that helped shape a time period. Guy Penrod, one of the most well-known and adored personalities in Southern gospel music, was the lead vocalist of the Gaither Vocal Band from 1995 to 2008. Guy helped define a golden age for the band with his soul-stirring tenor voice, long hair, and distinctive cowboy attitude. Guy left in 2008 because he wanted to pursue a solo ministry, not because of strife. Actually, Bill Gaither and the rest of the squad backed his decision. With the release of Breathe Deep in 2010, and later Hymns, a best-selling gospel CD, Penrod began a prosperous solo career after departing the trio. Guy has always talked positively about his experience with the Gaither Vocal Band. In interviews, he is still friendly with the Gaither family and has occasionally returned for Gaither homecoming festivities. Pastoral care, country gospel tours, and recording worship music, often fusing traditional hymns with a contemporary country sound, have been his main priorities in recent years. Reggie Smith, a studio favorite and longtime contributor. Since the early 2000s, Reggie Smith, who is frequently spotted performing with his wife, Lady Love Smith, has served in a variety of roles with the Gaither Vocal Band. Reggie, who participated in both live performances and studio recordings, is well known for his powerful vocal range, musical ability, and humble demeanor. The Gaither Vocal Band formally welcomed Reggie as a full-time member in 2017. Along with Lady Love, he played as part of the Gaither Homecoming series for years, gaining a lot of appreciation among gospel enthusiasts. In recent years, in addition to continuing her performing work with Lady Love, Reggie has returned to her independent ministry and vocal coaching. Once more, neither of them has publicly discussed any controversy or made an official announcement of a departure due to conflict. Typical causes for artists to leave Gaither music: numerous outstanding musicians have joined and left the Gaither Vocal Band, including Mark Lowry, David Phelps, Russell Taff, Michael English, and Marshall Hall. Almost always, one or more of the following have been cited as the cause of a member's departure. Individual career goals, ministry or family obligations, health or travel restrictions, a new vocation or stage of life. It's normal for musicians to eventually seek other endeavors due to the rigorous nature of touring and organizing major concerts. Both Guy and Reggie are still well-liked in the gospel community and have carried on using music as a means of ministry. Correcting the record, there is no verified controversy. No credible source backs up reports of a rift between Guy Penrod, Reggie Smith, and the Gaither brand. Despite sporadic online rumors that are frequently stoked by YouTube comments or social media speculation, both musicians have maintained connections within the larger Gaither family and have talked favorably about their experience with the ensemble. According to their own words, "My life was greatly impacted by the Gaither Vocal Band, and I will always be appreciative of the chances and memories we shared." Guy Penrod speaking to CBN in 2010. "Bill and Gloria have produced something lovely that inspires hope in others. Being a part of that is an honor." Reggie Smith at a recording of Gaither Homecoming. "Seasons shift, but respect never goes away. It's vital to keep in mind that ministry, like life, happens in seasons. Even if fans may always experience a feeling of loss when their favorite performer leaves, both Guy Penrod and Reggie Smith have moved on to new endeavors in which they use music to uplift. May we enjoy what these musicians provided to the Gaither Vocal Band and what they still bring to the world through their ministries today." Rather than dwelling on gossip, respecting the tradition and accepting the path, change is not only inevitable but also essential in the constantly changing gospel music landscape. Voices come and go, seasons change, yet the spirit of worship never wavers. Instead of being the product of controversy or discord, Guy Penrod and Reggie Smith's exits from the Gaither Vocal Band are a reflection of this organic rhythm. Although it is reasonable for the public to be curious, the evidence suggests calling rather than dispute. Following the inward stirrings of purpose and faith, both men departed on their own terms. Guy Penrod left to start a solo ministry that has impacted millions of people worldwide. His fans, who followed him during his years with Gaither, are still captivated by his powerful vocals and cowboy charm. Alongside his wife Lady Love Smith, Reggie Smith, a silent giant in the gospel world, continues to give his voice to the kingdom through mentoring, ministry, and music. The Gaither family was strengthened rather than destroyed by their departures. One individual or even one sound has never been the focus of the Gaither Vocal Band. It has been about using music to honor God, healing wounded hearts through harmony, and creating a legacy that transcends time and space. Accordingly, Guy and Reggie's travels ought to be seen as continuations of the same goal rather than as departures. The price and the beauty of ministry particularly in the field of music, is a path filled with sacrifice. It can be both satisfying and draining to spend time away from family, travel often, and bear the burden of spiritual obligation. It should come as no surprise to artists like Guy Penrod and Reggie Smith that after years of working in a group setting, they decided to pay closer attention to the quiet, tiny voice that was pointing them in a different direction. Seldom are these choices taken hastily. In actuality, they frequently entail months if not years of discernment, prayer, and counseling. Clickbait storylines and superficial rumors cannot convey that level of spiritual and emotional depth. Furthermore, social media conjecture is undoubtedly insufficient to gauge it. However, the effect these guys have had on the individuals they have impacted can be quantified. Their voices have become a source of solace, inspiration, and happiness in everything from large concert halls to small country churches, from crowded auditoriums to private moments in someone's vehicle audio. A change of the lineup doesn't stop that impact, it just finds new avenues to spread. Cooperation over conjecture. In a day where every action a public figure does is scrutinized online, it's critical to remember something fundamentally Christian, putting unity above divisiveness. The gospel community ought to be renowned for showing grace rather than making assumptions, for having the best faith rather than the worst. Bill Gaither has always been a collaborative, humble, and loving leader of his group. His readiness to help artists pursue their own vocations, even if it means bidding them go, says a lot about the type of leadership that endures. In most cases, leaving the Gaither Vocal Band is a commissioning rather than a departure. Drama doesn't need to be created where none already exists. The overwhelming weight of the evidence in Guy Penrod and Reggie Smith's case suggests peace, thankfulness, and a continuing purpose. That is not something to question but something to celebrate. Keeping up the melody, despite not being regular members of the Gaither Vocal Band, Guy and Reggie are nonetheless well-known voices in the gospel music industry. Their ministries are still developing and expanding. Guy's solo CDs continue to chart and sell well because they are full of unadulterated worship and honesty, with a touch of country. People of all ages attend his live performances, and many find solace in his pastoral outreach. Along with Lady Love, Reggie Smith continues to be a popular figure in homecoming circles and occasionally performs on Gaither stages. In order to maintain the tradition of gospel quality, he also mentors and coaches the next generation of musicians. In their different ways, these men continue to do what they have always done, live in obedience to God's calling and honor Him with their skills. Their loyalty merits respect and honor rather than suspicion or criticism, both in public and behind the scenes. A legacy greater than a single icon, the tales in gospel music are equally as beautiful as the songs. Additionally, the lives of Guy Penrod and Reggie Smith are characterized by honesty, commitment, and faith. They serve as a reminder that a stage's platform is only as strong as the person. A band or era can easily get ingrained in your memory. That sentimentality is real. However, the gospel as a whole and the Gaither Vocal Band's mission are greater than any one vocalist. The goal is to lead others to Christ, and each devoted artist who uses that platform contributes to the spread of the gospel with hope. Looking ahead, let's decide to look forward with hope rather than backward with conjecture. As we wrap up this analysis of Guy Penrod and Reggie Smith's trip, let's honor the music they have provided, the memories they have contributed to, and the ways they still serve us now. Their departures weren't final, they served as farewells to new eras of faith and productivity. Let's show these artists the same respect they have shown us by supporting them, whether it's through Guy's latest album or a homecoming special that features Reggie and Lady Love. Let's respect them, pray for them, and most importantly rejoice in what God has done and is still doing in their lives. The song might not be the same. Voices can differ. However, the message of love, hope, and salvation by Jesus Christ is still the same. And that's the main focus of the Gaither Vocal Band both now and in the future.